Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Kevin's Commentary. We had one of the best spring games I've seen in a long time. I hate to say that, Coach, put pressure on you, but we have Coach Bohl with us today, Craig Bohl, Wyoming's head football coach. So happy to have you with us, Craig. And I know to a coach, spring games are a little different than to us fans, but from a fan's perspective, that was a lot of fun Saturday.
Well, it certainly was, and you're right. A head coach's perspective is going to be different, but I also think there's there's improvement out there on that football field, and you cannot deny that. We're really pleased with the maturation of our offense, particularly the offensive line. We had some great holes that were opened up, and I think we really have some promise at quarterback. And there's been a major shift, Kevin. Not only a cultural shift, but also a schematic shift for long-term success. And those things don't happen overnight. We're beginning to see a lot of positive signs of really encouraging improvement by the Cowboys.
It would seem from afar that what happened on Saturday was what Craig Bohl likes to see. A really good running game, some outstanding things from the passing game, but that running game was really something.
Well, it certainly was, and we held Brian out. He's still got some hamstring issues. Sean Wick is back at full speed, and I can't say enough about the movement that our offensive line got. Now, on the flip side, you take a measured response as a defensive former coach. You get a little bit concerned, but I went through the tape, and there's areas that we can correct. But you cannot deny there was more athleticism on the field, more playmaking ability, and those things are going to speak well for us as the coming year comes around.
It was tough when you got here, no doubt. That was 3 springs ago now. It sure seems that you have a lot more pieces to your puzzle and a lot more excitement.
Well, I can tell you this, beyond just knowing the players' names, I know them, and we know them inside and out, and they hear our voices. They're in tune with the vision that we have as a coaching staff. And so what you're seeing is guys playing with more confidence. There's more commitment. Also, you're seeing a bigger, stronger football team now. When you take an offensive lineman who starts as a freshman and he weighs 265 pounds and he now weighs 295, those things make a difference. Or you have a free safety who plays as a freshman at 185 pounds and now is 205 pounds. All those things are part of a football program taking the next step. And so, we're in a significantly different place this spring. It was interesting, your comment there echoed what Eddie Yarborough said. He goes, Coach, he had a big smile on his face, as only Eddie can do, and said, wow, Coach, I'm just watching. This is drastically different than what it was my first spring here.
Let's get into it a little more. Some of the things that you really had to concentrate on, you felt like in spring ball. What are those areas and how did they come along?
Well, first of all, you offensively, you really need to start at your quarterback position. There was real promise with Josh last year. He played one game, part of a half against Eastern Michigan, and performed well. But it was who knew how he was going to come along. And I thought Coach Vegan did a great job with him all during the course of spring. We put him through a lot of tough situations. It was not pure vanilla looks. And those things are going to help him as he goes into the fall this next year. He's got a lot of arm strength. He's a tall guy. He's got good mobility, and he can escape the rush. And so those are building blocks for us in the future. There's some things we got to rein him in a little bit when he runs to one side of the field and tries to throw it across the other side. That's a father-son chat that I'm going to have with him, or have already had with him. Some of the other things that we really need to work on, our secondary last year, we gave up so many big plays, Kevin. If you counted the number of big plays that occurred particularly early in the game, and we needed more speed on the field and more speed in the back end, and so it was good to have some of these younger defensive backs come around. Also, I think the move of Lucas Waka to the Mike linebacker position, that is a quarterback position. And he speaks well, he understands our defense, and so we're really excited about him.
Where are you most excited on the positive side, things that you expected to do be good when you got into spring ball, and certainly was?
Well, I think, our receivers, a guy like Tanner Gentry, really, before he was injured last year, was one of the top receivers in the league, and time again, during practice, he made big plays. And then the other thing, too, for us now to really have a legitimate 1-2 punch at the running back spot is going to be really helpful. Brian Hill and Sean Wick, that's going to be great. The other thing that really excites me is we've just got more speed on defense. And not only at the linebacker spot, but the defensive end spot. And that's not a knock on Eddie, but Eddie wasn't the most fleet of foot. And our defensive ends right now are guys that can really run.
Coach, we're always excited about the start of the season, no doubt about it. But there is very much more opportunity to be excited if you're a Cowboy fan heading into that first game.
Well, there certainly is. And I can tell you this. I knew on the outset coming into last year we were going to have some challenges. I mean, we were through an ebb and flow of a large exiting senior class that was really comprised of a lot of junior college players, and so we made a fundamental decision on how we're going to build our program from the long haul, and you do that by investing in players who are high school seniors. And with that sometimes comes a little bumps in the road. This is a significantly different picture that we have. I'm a seasoned football coach, and we're certainly excited about the look in the eye, not only the look in the eye, but the ability that these guys have.
You mentioned seniors. You're pleased with this year's leadership?
Mm-hmm. Leadership is so important when you have a large locker room, and, we have 118 guys on our football team. Certainly as coaches, we're going to have a profound effect on leadership, but the real influential leadership comes from those seniors. And guys like Lucas and Sean, and the list goes on, Chase Roulier, the list goes on and on. That really has an impact on modeling what type of behavior, and not only behavior, but what kind of attitude you need to bring to the practice field every day.
You were very pragmatic when you came here, and you said this is going to be a process, probably 4, 5, 6 years. In year 3, now spring ball's over, year 3, you have to be pleased where you are right now.
Well, we're pleased with our progress. We, from the Old West, we still like some more bullets in our gun, and that's going to come through recruiting classes. We have appreciated the outpouring of support. We have stayed the course, and we're going to continue to stay the course. We're on track with taking another step forward, and I'm personally excited about that as a head football coach.
Head football coach Craig Bohl, we sure appreciate you taking the time.
You bet.
Craig Bohl, our guest today. Until next time, go WYO.